There's way too much talk that the Eagles aren't even the class of the NFC East. I'm here to tell you they still are. I am. They have holes. We're going to break those holes down. They still have things that need to be worked on. We're going to discuss them, but they're still the class of the East. Darius Slay, World Baseball Classic, a very interesting NBA topic, and so much more on this happy St. Patrick's Day. We're live. Let's lock and load. We'll get at it in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all. Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube, Twitter, you know the drill. Wherever you are watching, please hit the buttons on your screen. Whether you're watching live or on replay later, it does not matter. It is free to hit those buttons. Please do it. Help this channel continue its growth, continue its takeover. I do that by you guys hitting those buttons on the screen. Like, share, and subscribe. Plus, it costs you literally nothing to do it. I am your host, Phil Stiefel, and we've got lots to talk about on the agenda today. Eagles related. Yes, people are giving up hope on the Eagles, and I'm here to tell you why you should not. There are holes. I will not gloss over the holes on this team. But here's the reasons that they're still the class of the East. So we're going to talk about that today. Darius Slay retired. And I thought that this was going to be a let's praise Darius Slay day. Then I see like literally 15 minutes ago, WIP as a poll. Will he be on the Eagles Wall of Fame or Hall of Fame? And so many Eagles fans are saying no, and it just blows my mind. We're going to honor Darius Slay today. We are, because he's the best. World Baseball Classic, Team USA, Team Venezuela. Are we excited? Who is going to win? At least the World Baseball Classic's over, and we can get back to 9 days till Phillies season kicks off. That's on the agenda today. NBA announced yesterday that they are voting on the 24th on expansion. And I think it's a terrible idea at this point for the NBA. We're going to talk about that as well. Plus, who knows what else comes up. It's St. Patrick's Day. Let's say good morning to everybody. Good morning, Duck. How you doing? Good morning, Jim. I know Jim is excited for Team USA whooping on Team Venezuela tonight. I don't know. A tough-ass team to play. Good morning, Robert. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Rick, how you doing this beautiful, fine morning? Hopefully no one took any damage, Rick. I know you're in Jersey, I think. I know Jersey got it worse than Coatesville. It was windy as hell. I literally was awake last night during the heart of the storm at like 12, 1 o'clock. I thought my house was going to blow away last night. Windy as hell. Good morning, Adam. USA. USA. Absolutely. Yes, Rick? Can I help you? Darius Slay deserves the recognition. Absolutely. The fact that WIP is out there running a poll and so many Eagles fans are voting no, he is not an Eagles Hall of Famer. Arguably the greatest trade in Eagles history. Well, one of the greatest trades in Eagles history. Howie Roseman's greatest trades. Okay? You got him for a third and a fifth. We were a wasteland at cornerback before Darius Slay. Darius Slay came here and solidified that defense, helped lead our defense to 2 Super Bowls, including a Super Bowl championship. He's a Pro Bowler multiple times in his career, all pro back in Detroit. Dude's great. And he's a great human being. Him and his wife, Jen Williams, one of the greatest Eagles couples of all time. Crazy. More concerned about Harper or Garcia. I'm not even sure. I haven't been paying attention how Garcia's been doing in the WBC. I am concerned about Bryce Harper. What is the number one thing that everyone talks about with Bryce Harper? He gets no protection in the lineup, right, Rick? Well, he's getting some protection with Aaron Judge and whatnot around him in the lineup. then you'll have some people say, well, it's just like a glorified spring training game, the World Baseball Classic. It's got a little bit more meaning to some of these players, supposedly. So I'm a little concerned about Harper because with all the talk off season and all the weird posts and videos, you expect Harper to come out ready to rock and roll from day one. And I don't know if we're there yet. WIP fans are toxic as hell. Why wouldn't Slay be in the Eagles Hall of Fame? I don't know. I checked like five. I saw it. I voted. And obviously, yes, he belongs in the Eagles Hall of Fame. Quote tweeted said everybody voting no is an idiot. And I checked a little bit ago. There was like 3,500 votes on their Twitter poll. And I think it was 55-45. No, he does not. 55% of over 3,000 people said no, he does not belong in the Eagles Hall of Fame. It's insanity. Insanity to me. Good morning, Vasak. How you doing? Happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well. NBA, that poorly misguided league, is looking to make another piss-poor decision. Look, obviously, it's been reported that the NFL or the NBA wants to expand 2 more teams, make it 32, right? Obviously, Seattle to bring back the Supersonics and Vegas for a team. You know, no surprise if Vegas is going to have 4 major sports teams, right? The NBA has so many problems with tanking, with money, with fan engagement, with fans caring, okay? You got so many shitty organizations that constantly are tanking, yet you want to add 2 more and dilute the talent pool even more? You have even more tanking teams on a regular basis, right? Yes, Seattle deserves a franchise. We'll take a team in another city and move them out there. You want a team in Vegas? Move somebody, okay? There's plenty of cities that don't deserve an NBA franchise. Like, let's be honest with it. Memphis can move out there. I mean, I don't think they sell out every night. Sacramento has talked for decades about moving out of Sacramento, right? You don't need the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks in New York. Brooklyn sucks and has for a while. Move somebody out there. New Orleans. Move New Orleans. Take away New Orleans again. But all we want to do is focus on expanding instead of fixing the problems first. Let's get tanking under control. Let's get the quality of the product under control. Let's reel these, the flopping in a little bit. But no, we're not going to do any of that. NBA stinks. Robert, I agree right now. Yes, Slay and Jen still do charity work in the city. He basically said he wouldn't play anywhere but Philly. Problem is, Buffalo still owns his rights from when they claimed him and he wouldn't report last year. So for Slay to play in Philly, which is the only place he'd play, A, the Eagles would want to have won him, which I don't think they would at this point. And 2, Buffalo would have to rescind his rights to let him be a free agent. Flyers 7 points out of the wild card playing Wednesday. I'm hoping for the Flyers. I am, Adam. Bryce Harper is horrible, thank goodness for Judge. Look, I don't think Bryce Harper's horrible. Bryce Harper is supposed to be coming back into form into an MVP season. He hated being called out that he's not elite anymore by Dave Dombrowski. But yet here he is in the World Baseball Classic. I think he's batting, like $150, $160? I know it's his spring training, but there's a little bit more juice in these games, right? You would think with the juice in these games that he'd be taken a little bit more seriously. Good morning, Elephant in the Room. How you doing? Garcia's batting 192 in spring training. Well, that's better than Bryce Harper at this point, so let's be honest. I bet those numbers are being skewed by WIP except to create controversy. No, what I said it was probably like, they're like, oh, we're just going to say this. I'll be the one that says it. And then since I'm saying it, y'all believe it, right? No issues with expansions. I have issues with who's running it. Right, and that's the thing. If you had Nooms first said, we've got this path forward to improve the league on fixing some of the other issues, and we want to expand by whatever date, right? Fine, I get it. And the 2028 season, it's a few years away. It's going to be hard to get expansion done that quickly anyway, right? You got to get deals with the cities, arenas. You got a lot to do there, right? But that being the sole focus of the NBA right now, the number one focus is more basketball teams instead of fixing the problems. Looking yourself in the mirror, Adam Silver, on where the NBA is going. When Adam Silver, I never really respected Adam Silver. I never liked him as a GM or as a commissioner. But when he looked at fans in the face and the media in the face and said, well, it's okay that not everybody can access the NBA. It's a highlight-driven league anyway. They can catch the highlights online. It just showed he didn't care about the fans. It showed he didn't care about the overall product of the game. I will barely watch the toilet bowl at the NBA. Such a crappy product. I try. I love my Sixers. I've been watching basketball since I was a little guy. You know, playing ball over on North Avenue Field Park. Okay. I love basketball. I love the NBA, but it is a toilet bowl league right now. And instead of fixing it, they're expanding upon it first. Can we send this Philly ownership out of here? Yeah, please. We don't want to lose the Sixers, Jim, but we want Josh Harris to say, all right, I'll give up ownership of the Sixers because I'm going to Vegas or something like that. Bill G, good morning to you. How you doing? It's getting close, expand, retract, product still sucks. The products, fix the product, right? Come on, Rick. Hey, Mike Florio commenting yesterday that A.J. Brown trade is inevitable. Look, every day, there's about 20 big-name reporters like Mike Florio that make 20 different comments on A.J. Brown. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, unless it's a detail with something else, like when we talk about, the biggest holes on the Eagles at some point today. And wide receiver 3 is one of them. What, you need somebody that can play wide receiver 3 in the draft that could eventually be wide receiver 2 if you trade it. Outside of that, I'm not talking A.J. Brown because there's too many mixed reports. He's going to be traded, he's not. The Eagles aren't budging. And then somebody tweets out the Eagles aren't budging, and then the next minute someone tweets out that the Eagles are considering budging off their asking price. Nobody knows, Rick. So until it happens, or until somebody comes out and says it's not happening, like in the Eagles or A.J. Brown, I'm not worried about it anymore. I can't stress about will A.J. be traded or not anymore. Darius Slay definitely deserves to be in the Eagles Hall of Fame, 100%, Rick. There is no reason that he is not in the Eagles Hall of Fame at this point. Well, will be. Silver doesn't care about the quality of the product and just changing the boxes. Yeah, look, he just doesn't care. I've been saying this since the first time I laid eyes on him. I thought he was from Men in Black. I thought I saw him in the background there. Can't believe we're still in this AJ shit. AJ will remain in Philly. I knew this the moment the Eagles 49ers game ended. Look, I flip-flop more on this than anything. I don't know. I don't care. If he's here, awesome. He's an elite wide receiver. If he's not here, great. We better have gotten an awesome haul. I'm over it. Marketing is obvious easier than actual change. I guess. Good morning, Big Al. Happy St. Patty's Day to you. Sorry, I know it's all right. Getting my shillelagh wax, is that what you're doing? I'm sure there's a couple bars out there in Delco in the Ridley area that are open, celebrating St. Patty's Day already. I know that Clifton Heights crowd and that Ridley crowd are out there boozing it up already today. I guarantee it. Good morning, Bruce. How you doing this morning? Not enough talent in the NBA with 30 teams. They should be reducing the amount of teams. Yeah, they're not going to reduce, so obviously, Rick, right? But figure out some of the problems that are facing this team with the product, with how it's perceived by the fans, right? And then you want to expand. Look, Seattle is a top 15 media market in this country. I think they're ranked like 12th or something like that. Sure, put a team in Seattle. Vegas is we all knew Vegas was going to have 4 sports teams. Don't know how I feel about basketball in Vegas with the basketball players and gambling and everything else, but it is what it is. You don't need more yet. You got to fix the game so us NBA fans don't bash it all the time and then expand. Because the Seattle Supersonics are basketball bionic. Look, I get it. Seattle's a great city for basketball. They were passionate about the Supersonics. It sucked that they lost them. Now I'm hearing reports that all the records that went to OKC with the Thunder from Seattle are going to go back to Seattle, which that's weird to me. Wax on, wax off. That's right. Money. That's all they care about, Phil. I don't disagree. We actually see eye to eye on this. Are you sure you don't want to change your opinion so we can disagree on this? I agree. It's all a greed thing from Adam Silver. Adam Silver sees the NFL booming, and the NBA is not keeping up with them. So what can I do to make more money? Team Italy got a taste of the Michael Lorenzen like Philly did. Made one hell of an introduction, then fell apart. Yeah. Our Paisans went down. Aaron Nola will be back in training camp this week. In the next day or two, good for them. It was a nice magical run for Team Italy, right? I don't think anybody, thought Team Italy was going to make it to the semifinals. So good for them. We'll see. We'll see what happens tonight in this game. Watch March Madness 100 times better than the shit of the NBA. Absolutely. I don't watch much college ball. I haven't watched any this year. I don't even know who's in the tournament yet. I still haven't looked at a bracket, but I'm sure the college game is more interesting, more entertaining. NBA needs to turn the page and get rid of the same old superstars. Yeah, I think they tried to do the whole NBA Cup thing. That didn't work. I think it's already time, in my opinion, to move on from the NBA Cup at this point. AJ will be out of Philly post June 1st. Maybe. Why do we only want to talk about AJ Brown? Aren't we tired of talking of AJ Brown? I'm tired of it. Like, it makes no sense how that's just killing everybody. Come on, guys. Let's hit those buttons. There's a lot of people watching. Hit the like button. 21 people right now in the YouTube room. Hit that like button, subscribe, share. If you have not, it is free to do. Seems the Lesser is an idiot who stated that AJ doesn't want to work in Philly. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win, playoff every season. Yeah, that doesn't work. Look, again, AJ Brown. I'm exhausted by it. You meant Robert, not Rick. Can I say? I'm sorry. Firing through here. My bad. You're 2 totally different people. Sources say Duck is changing his last name to Thua. Thua, what? I saw Goedert took a team-friendly deal. Wonder what he really wanted. Well, yeah, he definitely took a team-friendly deal. By the way, let me tell you something. On the Dallas Goedert front, you also have the situation that Grant Calcaterra, is coming back as well. So you got the same tight end too. His contract was just announced. I just saw it this morning. It was a 1-year deal, $2 million for Grant Calcaterra, right? But only $700K guaranteed. So this whole we're running it back with Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra, the Eagles are still going to draft a tight end, somewhere in rounds 2, 3, or 4. And if that tight end even puts up an inkling of good talent, Calcaterra's getting cut. $700K guaranteed is nothing. Those kind of players get cut all the time. So Calcaterra's contract was structured in a way that there's a damn good chance that Calcaterra's not on this team and we're not running it back at tight end. Just to put that out there. Goedert being re-signed was a big step on getting AJ. Absolutely. It makes the AJ Brown situation easier. And Rick, if it happens, I've stood by it 100 times. It won't be till post June 1st. It's not going to happen before the draft. That's why I just don't even care to talk about it, right? Now, if the Eagles go out and draft a wide receiver in round 1, yeah, maybe we'll talk about it the next day. But I don't care anymore. June 1st is months away. I just can't. Good morning, soldiers. Steve, USA. And Fairwood Heaven live tonight, 6 p.m., breaking down the Valspar Championship. Goddard signed a team-friendly deal because he doesn't want to leave. Can't imagine another team wouldn't have given him the same deal. I mean, it was only like $4.2 million guaranteed for Dallas Goedert. The dude has taken a pay decrease each of the last 2 years, and each of the last 2 years has gotten better. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even tell you Michigan was in the tournament. I got a text message from Cole last night, who's been on this show many times. Kid Cole. And he always comes on to break down March Madness. I didn't even respond to him until I have to do it after the show. I don't even know how to host a guest that talks March Madness because I know nothing about March Madness. He will be getting paychecks a few years after he retires because we're able to extend out the 20 min over 3-4. Yeah, absolutely. Dallas Goedert is taking care of. Dallas Goedert wants to be in Philly. I get it. I love it. I love team-friendly deals. WIP, all they are talking about is A.J. Brown. I don't know what's a worse product, WNBA or WIP or NBA. Yeah, I don't know. Every day, it's the same rinse and repeat. A.J. Brown or Jalen Hurts, and that's it. And it's annoying. And today, trying to stir controversy with a negative Darius Slay poll. Ridiculous. Flyers getting into the playoffs will do more for the endless rebuild than anything. Get the taste. I've said that before. 100%, Rick. 100%. Getting a taste of the playoffs for the Flyers would be wonderful. Now, they're 7 points back per Adam. I'm not sure how many games are left. I know the Sixers have 14. So not many games left for the Flyers to close that gap. But getting a taste of the playoffs for a young, rebuilding team does so much for the growth the next year. Even if you get swept out, 4 games in the first round. Getting in is great experience, right? So I'm hoping the Flyers make the playoffs for that reason. Both can we equally be bad? Yes, absolutely. Great point about Grant. Every year the Eagles sign players like that to fill out the roster. It's more of a camp body, right? Now, he has not shown jack shit in his 4 years in Philly with plenty of opportunities when Dallas Goedert gets hurt. So this is his last make or break camp, not season. And when they draft somebody in round 3, that guy, if he even has a decent camp, you're not keeping 4 tight ends on the roster. You would keep 3. He's gone. I think they did wrong with Goedert. You get that Eagles-Ertz feeling they should have gave Goedert a couple years. Yeah, I feel bad, but you know what? That's Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert could have said, no, I'm sticking to this. I want more money. But Dallas Goedert showed his pocket cards at the poker table, his whole cards, right? He showed he had a 7 deuce. So the Eagles are like, I'm not calling that shit. He said, I want to be in Philly. Plain and simple. Max Clare, Ohio State tight end, is a definite possibility. I have seen him available in the 3rd round of the Eagles when I run mock drafts 100 times. And I'm fine with that. Everything I read on the guy, he'd be a quality. There's guys before him that are probably better. But Max Clare, in that 3rd round, if he's there, do the deal. Send that card in. And he will beat out Grant Calcaterra, and Calc will be gone. Maybe Mark C can come on before the Philly season. I'll have to ask Mark if he wants to come in and talk a little baseball. I know he's being very negative on Twitter right now about those Phillies. So maybe. I like Goedert. I love he's here, but all athletes' careers are limited, and they need to make as many bags as possible. That's why, you find, I don't know if you heard Jalen Phillips doing his Carolina Panthers presser, welcome to Carolina presser, right? And he talked about how the Eagles made a very, very strong offer, but Carolina just blew the offer out of the water. So basically, Jalen Phillips admitted, look, I'm 26, got a chance to get a bag. I'm healthy right now. I'm getting the bag. I'm taking care of my family. And I don't hate that. I know fans probably hate the fact that Jalen Phillips took the money. You got to do it. Dallas Goedert, whether there was a market or not, there had to be a market more than 1 year, $7 million out there for Dallas Goedert. You got to get that money. That's what free agency is about, right? Hurts playing in Flag Football League this weekend. I will check it out. It's a preview of future NFL. Yeah. Grant has serious head injuries in college. He is lucky that his football career lasted this long. Yeah, he stayed relatively healthy in the NFL. I do remember a lot in college. He may have had 1 or 2 concussions in the pros, too. I'm not positive on that. But, yeah. Stowers is a possibility. I've seen a lot of Eagles fans mention him as well, Rick. Grant had serious head injuries in college. Okay, for some reason we got the same comment twice. Fan base has trouble digesting any type of concurrent information as though 2 things can't be true. And other moves can't happen to make things happen. Look, that's what I'm here to talk about today. That other things are going to happen, right? One thing doesn't mean something else isn't going to happen, right? I don't know who is more toxic, WIP or AJ himself. For a guy who runs to social media cry, he could have easily said, I want to stay and shut down the convo, but he won't because he loves the drama. Yeah, that's just the age we live in. We live in the social media drama, put your feeling. It's like that, not State Farm, the Flow commercial, the new one, where they're all standing around. Oh, I got to post a picture of this hot water heater flooding on social media. And the other person's like, we don't have to post everything on social media. And they all start busting up out and, laughing. You got to put everything on social media. That is part of the problem today, right? Even with the extreme drop of production over the past few seasons, would you bring in Reddick as a rotation guy? Probably not. I'm pretty sure his time here did not end well. His time in the locker room did not end well. His production has dropped, not just dropped. It is an extreme drop, like you said, Reddick. Rick, Hassan Reddick, to me, is a big no. He's been a problem everywhere he's gone. Arizona, Carolina, Philly, and with the Jets. So I'm off on Reddick. I know we need another edge. To me, I did on Twitter yesterday my power rankings of the biggest needs for the Eagles right now. And above safety, I put edge as the biggest hole on this team right now. I put safety as 2, wide receivers 3, offensive line depth is 4, tight end is 5. Well, safety again as 5, and then tight end is 6. But I'd rather go get somebody in the draft. I'd rather continue trying to trade for Goedert, even though the rumors are that that's died down. I'd rather draft a first-round edge over an offensive tackle, 2, instead of doing Hassan Reddick. Flag football hurts just perfect. Is the flag football going to be on TV this weekend? I'm not even sure. Happen in their favor. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Robert. Too much A.J. Brown talk. Good morning, AK. How you doing today? Hope you're well. Yeah, stop talking about A.J. Brown. Nobody wants to talk about it but you. I don't like how Howie perks his own players around and finds money for unknown quantities like Bryce Huff. The fact that they didn't sign Josh Sweat makes me question his judgment. See, I don't think Josh Sweat. So the Bryce Huff was stupid, right? We agree on that, Keith. It was not a match made in heaven, right? Obviously, it wasn't a match made for Vic Fangio's system. But I think people forget Josh Sweat before the Super Bowl. Well, I think he had like 7 sacks that year. He was a very inconsistent player. Josh Sweat's not a Vic Fangio system guy. There's a reason why his sack number jumped so significantly in a different system this year. I think people overvalue Josh Sweat a little bit. Yes, he's an Eagles legend because he had a huge Super Bowl, and he will always be beloved for that. But if you look at a bigger picture, outside the Super Bowl, he was okay. He was decent. He was inconsistent. It wasn't even the biggest miss of the offseason last year. The biggest miss was the draft, misreading the room, and the biggest miss in free agency last year was Isaiah Rodgers. That's my opinion. What about bringing in Jadeveon Clowney? I can't, dude. I can't, Adam. After that hit on Carson Wentz, we've danced around this idea a few times over the last few years when he's been available, but I will never get over the hit he put on Carson Wentz. It'd be so hard to cheer for him. It really would, Adam. Epps should be brought back. I'm 91.37% sure that Marcus Epps will be back with the Eagles. That will be one of the safeties we bring in. It'll be Epps. It'll be Brown. It'll be Drew Makuba. It'll be someone in the draft. It'll be Michael Carter. And then one of those guys will get cut in training camp. That's how I see it playing out. Tackle isn't the sexy pick, but it's the right pick. But with the amount of holes on this team, you need somebody that can start day one with that first-round pick, in my opinion. And you don't need the offensive tackle to start only unless somebody gets hurt. That's why I'm using round 2 on tackle, round 3 on a guard or tight end, right? I'm getting somebody in that first pick that's going to make an impact on edge at wide receiver, maybe a tight end if Sadiq happened to fall, which I doubt happens. You need somebody that's going to step in and play day one. Yeah, see, exactly. Not signing Rodgers has proven to be unwise, as not signing Blankenship will be. Look, it may be a mistake letting Blankenship go, and the price may be, right? Now, again, Reed Blankenship is a guy that we always talk, no problem, was a very average at best player. A leader, a captain, but as a player, he was okay. He's an easily replaced production kind of guy. Just saying. But we agree on Rodgers was a big mistake. Would Malcolm Jenkins been a Vic guy? I don't know. I'm not sure. Huff was a gamble that didn't pan out. Sweat is great, but Howie has a number, and someone offered him way more. Yeah, look, it was like 4 years. I think it was $79, $80 million that Josh Sweat got. We got a 4th-round comp pick for him. Look, the Bryce Huff stuff was a bad gamble. And I said it the day Bryce Huff got signed, the next day on this show. I said, was Bryce Huff just a one-hit wonder? And it turned out to be the way it was, right? I don't regret losing Josh Sweat last offseason. I don't. The Eagles unloading Brown is as nutty as the Eagles unloading Carter enough already. But let's just not talk about it. Every time you bring his name up, I got to read it, which means another second spent talking about A.J. Brown. So stop talking about A.J. Brown. A perfect fit that is consistent, costs $30 million a year with the money we have. Competent vet is all we can afford. Look, you can only afford so many players because they've been so damn good at drafting over the last 4 or 5 years. Howie Roseman is 1,000% a victim of his own success. What the hell happened tonight? I got an update on my phone. How do you turn off like the Google stuff on your phone? Like the, hey, Google, whatever. Latest update on my phone, download the thing, and every time I talk, picks up my voice and is answering questions over there. I haven't figured out how to turn that off. Blankenship is not easily replaced, as you will see in short order. We will see. And I am slightly concerned there because losing Blankenship, if you had his replacement already, like in the sense of it, like if you had Drew McCuba and another guy, back there that Sidney Brown would have proven his worth by now, a little different. But there isn't even a backup to step in. That's the problem. It's a barren wasteland at that position, right? And Howie has not done anything to improve the position this offseason. I get that. Problem is, or the other thing is, we had the same problem in 22. We had a barren wasteland at safety. And on August 20th, he made a trade to get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from the Saints. And it all worked out. The thing is, I'm not rushing to be overly worried on March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day today. I'm not worried on St. Patrick's Day. Blankenship will be average when he's gone. We can get someone to replace the numbers. His skill in Philly is being a leader and an energy guy. Yeah. Who's going to be the captains on defense? Well, I think it's going to be Jordan Davis, Zach Vaughn, and maybe Cooper DeJean. But yes, I'm more worried about the loss of leadership. Not just with Reed Blankenship, but with Nakobe Dean as well. The lack of leadership or proven leadership is what worries me. What happened to Becton, one-hit wonder? Yeah, look, a lot of people, I was asked just yesterday on Twitter with my post on power ranking biggest needs for the Eagles about Mekhi Becton. And I said, again, I said it like a dozen times, I'm not bringing back Mekhi Becton. I know the big ticket had a great run in 24 with us. That was a one-hit wonder season, right? It was terrible with the Jets, came here under Stout, had a great year, cashed in with the Chargers, already got cut, right? Stoutland is not here anymore. He had one good year in the NFL. He's now, I think, in year 5. Or this will be year 5. I'm not touching Mekhi Becton even as a depth piece at this point. And no one else is either, right? Tells you something. Was Huff signed before we got Fangio? No, Fangio is here. So I remember talking about would he fit Fangio's system as soon as it happened. It wouldn't seem logical, but it also wouldn't be the first time Howie got someone. Because we discussed whether he was consulting Fangio on this signing. Because I didn't think it was going to work right from the get-go. So I remember part of the argument was Vic Fangio consulted on this move? So yeah, and I think that was the move that made Howie Roseman, I better talk to Vic. That's why we got Jalen Phillips and not somebody else at the deadline, right? I think that was that eye-opening moment where he's like, I got to do what Vic Fangio needs or wants. Blankenship will be back in 2 or 3 years, just like Epps, maybe. Look, Blankenship's in a great place. Houston's a great defense. Their head coach, Ryans, is a great defensive mind. Houston had the best defense in football last year, I believe. It's a great place for him to go, right? He's not going to have to be the man there, right? So I think Blankenship will be fine there. Basically. I tried to delete the app. There's no app. I have to delete all of Google, like Google Maps and Google Photos and everything else. I don't know. I'm not very technically inclined. They tried Becton back in his original position without anyone else around him. Maybe that was part of the problem. Akuba can't play. Stop talking about him like a proven guy. He is not a proven guy. But you need to stop talking about him that you're 1,000% sure that he's going to be a total bust. You want me to stop talking like he's a proven guy. He's not. I admit that. He had 9 games before he got hurt. He had glimpses of goodness and glimpses of badness. But he was a rookie playing in a difficult situation. Next to Reed Blankenship, right? Who's an average player. I'm not giving up hope on him. He is, because you spent a second-round pick on him, he is the heir apparent to one of those starting positions this year. It's up to him to prove his worth. It's up to him to prove he's grown and gotten better. But he's got plenty to prove. I'm not saying he doesn't have to prove anything. Just saying that you at least need somebody next to him before you worry about who's going to replace him. You know who won't be a captain on the Eagles? Becton was the product of Stoutland. He's not here. No point now. I agree. I agree with you 100% on this, AK. Better give him the captain position unless you want a drop. Oh, my God. Stop. You guys are insufferable, okay? Blank got the bag and well-deserved at that. This was the best for his family and long-term wealth for them. Absolutely. I am still shocked that the Eagles didn't match that. Yes, I am. Absolutely. But you know what? I'm okay with it. Here is the yeah. I already got that on Twitter, Big Al. I already got it. How many Eagles fans are going to say, should we go get Justin Simmons? Correct me if I'm wrong, Big Al. Didn't Justin Simmons not play anywhere in the NFL last year? I'm pretty sure not one team picked him up last year, which just reminds me that it's time for people to stop talking about Justin Simmons. It's been how many years, and Vic Fangio still has not requested his presence in Philly. Now, that could mean now that this is the year we get him, but look, I'm over the Justin Simmons to the Eagles because of the great connection with Vic Fangio topic. So over it. Makuba did show signs of being distant. He was a rookie, and people give up on rookies so quickly because they think every rookie is going to come out and be Quinion Mitchell or Devontae Smith or Jalen Carter. No, rookies take time to develop 9 times out of 10. If it's Epps and Makuba as our safety group, what will their nickname be? I have no idea. No idea. I'm not a nickname comer-upper guy. My expectation would be Epps. You draft somebody in the first couple of rounds, right? It's Epps and Makuba going into training camp with the rookie having a chance to push one of those guys out of their spot. Yeah. Justin Fields going to Kansas City. I forget all the deals. I know the Jets had to pay him an $8 million bonus to make the trade official. Justin Fields, man. The Jets. Kansas City's a great place for him to go and just sit behind Patrick Mahomes and do nothing and get to the playoffs, right? Justin Fields might win a playoff game because he's on the bench in KC before some other quarterbacks do. He might throw in a couple premature celebration drop ball. Stop. Justin, there had to be a reason no one, even those who needed umbrella safety, even looked his way. They all know something we don't. Yeah, absolutely. So many people want formerly good players or former Eagles to be signed. Got to learn to move on. It's a business. The NFL is a business, and you got to understand that, right? It is okay to move on from players. It sucks, especially ones you grow attached to, right? It sucks to lose certain players. I get it. That is just the way it is, right? But you got to move on from sometimes. Jets doing Jets things, yeah, the Jets always. They'll never learn. Although the Jets do have 3 first-round picks next year. Yeah. Phil, nickname comer-upper guy. Stiefel has a nice ring to it. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That's my new nickname, right? Can we get Jesse Bates already? I've always wanted him. When he was a free agent, signed his first big free agent deal like 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, I did want Jesse Bates. He's still under contract, so you'd have to trade for him. I think he's only got 1 year left on his deal. I'm going to write his name down because I haven't done enough Jesse Bates research. I don't know what his last year, I know what he was like when he got the free agent bag. I know what he was like his first year after he got the bag. Not sure how he was this past year. I think he's with the Falcons, I think. Don't hate the idea. It's just how much you have to trade to get him, and then how much do you have to pay him on an extension. WIP would vote Justin Simmons the Eagles Ring of Honor over Slay. Exactly. Still, let's give one first round of applause to Darius Slay for his great career, retiring after 13 years in the NFL. Good for him. Love the guy. Eagles legend. Arguably, Howie Roseman's greatest trade he ever made was the trade to get Darius Slay, giving up the 3rd and 5th round pick, 85 and 166 in 2020 for him. Love the guy. So we're playing all these unproven guys and letting proven guys walk, and you're optimistic about 2026. Makuba was bad. You say Reed was average. Makuba didn't reach that level. See, I disagree on that, okay? We look at the game differently. And yes, look, unproven guys, you have to have faith in your coaching staff. When you've got to pay Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, you're upset they didn't play Josh Sweat, which would have meant someone else getting, moved on from, right? When you've got Q and Coop up for big deals, you can't pay everybody. You got to draft, develop, and re-sign as many as you can. And you got to hope the next ones come up. You got to have faith, right? And I have faith. Look, here's an example. You lose Milton Williams. Jordan Davis and Moro Jomo step up, right? We're going to lose Moro Jomo next offseason. Who's the next guy that's going to step up? You got to have faith in the guys you've drafted can step up when you lose players. You got to have faith in the coaches who haven't let us down in developing these players for a very long time. When was the last guy that they drafted, okay, in the first, second, or third round that by year 3 had not stepped in and developed into what we needed them to be, okay? All their top-end draft picks have developed over time. Yeah, Makuba and Campbell still need to develop, but they're done 1 year so far. Now you got to have faith that Vic Fangio is getting those guys up to par for next season. So, yeah, I'm optimistic because the track record says be optimistic about it, okay? Do the Chiefs miss the playoffs 2 years in a row? I wouldn't bet against it. It's possible, but I wouldn't bet against it. Blankenship will be back. What? Stop. 28, the triumphant return of Blankenship. Yes, sir. I would give a 5th for Jesse. Dude's always been solid. He hasn't had any drop-offs in the last few years. That's good. You say a 5th? I'll look into it. I think I saw somebody say a 6, and I thought that was a little weak. But, yeah, I have it. I have a soundboard. I got lots of sound effects here. I do. I just never use it. There's always a soundboard here. I got loads of them here. There's a way to program the sounds I want. I just don't know. The unused soundboard. It is the unused soundboard. I'd probably have more subscribers if I used the soundboard more often, right? So, sure, it's a business, the business of accumulating talent and winning Super Bowls. Howie's at present moving in the wrong direction. He's moving in the wrong direction, in your opinion, through the first 6-7 days of free agency. Okay? Again, how many times I got to remind you? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson came on August 20th of 2022, and we went to the Super Bowl, right? It's a patience. It's a long game. It's not, you do not build your Super Bowl champion in the first 5 days of free agency. There's so much more fluctuation coming to the Eagles roster, Keith, and I don't know what else to say to convince you that just your conversation, if you want to have this conversation, nothing else changes from now till September 1st. We can have this conversation on September 1st. But right now on March 17th, we don't even know what's happening over the next week. Life in Houston is nice and no state income tax. That's true. He's 29 and he's still got a few years left. All right. I'll do my Jesse Bates research today at some point. In your opinion, what trade? Stop. I just saw the word AJ, and I just assumed you were going to make another I saw the word trade and AJ. I was like, I'm not reading this. The trade for Slay or the trade for AJ? Okay, so both of those trades helped us get to and win a Super Bowl, right? Both of those trades, well, Slay got us to 2, win 1, AJ 1, right? No, AJ was here in 22 also. The thing with the trades are, Slay was for a 3rd and a 5th, and we got an all-pro level player. AJ, we traded a first-round pick. So AJ was probably the better player in his tenure here, but Darius Slay was better value. Like, you got an all-pro player for a 3rd and a 5th versus an all-pro player for a 1st, and I think there was something else. It was 1st and something else. So AJ trade on paper was probably better, but the value in return for what you gave up was probably Slay. Does that make sense? Phil's too busy these days. He has no time to master his soundboard. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. You ever think of changing your intro song? I do. Problem is, it's hard to find ones that you're 100% sure are not going to get copyright flagged. So, and then sometimes they are good, and then they become copyright later down the line. Hence why we left the Tulip song to the current one. No, it's a process. Plus, changing the song, it's a process. I'm not very good at video making. Got to program some Goodfellas sound bites in there. Yeah, there's a way to do that. I just don't have any idea here. 2 seasons of moving in the wrong direction. 2 seasons. Oh, because this upcoming season is going to be another one in the wrong direction. Thinking the last 2 seasons, like we won a Super Bowl not even 2 years ago. So anyway, you can't say that with the utmost 100% confidence. Yeah. Hearing how people are responding to the loss of some of these vets makes me feel like nobody has faith in our draft picks and the ability to develop players. Maybe they are right. Are we in trouble? I think you have to have faith in the development of these players, Peanut. And good morning to you, Peanut. Always great when I see Peanut in the crowd, right? His YouTube channel's linked down below, guys. Make sure you guys all subscribe to Peanut's YouTube channel. It's actually fantastic. I have faith in the development because we have developed some damn great players over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Hell, you can even point to Reed Blankenship as being a huge developmental project that succeeded. There's always the next guy to step up. Look at Alex Hunt's development over the last 2 years. Nolan Smith is still, I mean, when he's healthy, he's producing. What do you think about Coop moving to safety long term? I wouldn't be surprised if he starts getting more snaps there this year. I don't like the idea because I'm always the kind of guy, Yas, that says you don't create a hole. You don't fill a hole that creates an even bigger hole. You're moving off of Coop, then creates a bigger hole at cornerback. Okay? You're better off just leaving Coop where he belongs, which is being the best slot corner in football. Plus everything you hear from Vic Fangio and Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman is that they don't want to do that. Is he capable? Probably. Yeah, for sure. He plays with that no fear. He'll make tackles. He'll play the run game. He can drop back and fall. He can do it all. Coop is a jack of all trades type of defensive back. But no, there's no way I'm moving to Coop yet. Now, you might want to talk about that 2, 3, 4 years down the line, maybe. But right now, not even close. You can make one in AI and copyright it yourself. Yeah, I don't know how to do AI stuff well. Makuba will be fine. I have no problem with that. Yeah, I'm not very good with AI. The out of time short done by your partner gave me a good laugh. Good morning, Bucs fan. How you doing? How many wins do you have the Eagles getting this year? I don't know. I never make my Eagles win projection till week 1 of the season, before game 1. Sometime that week, you get your first prediction. But this team, as it stands now, is still an 11-win team. In theory. Could be even better. Let me tell you something. You can't say how many wins because we don't have a completed roster. The draft hasn't happened. There's trades that are going to come. There's more free agents to sign. The negativity, Mitchie Poo, towards this Eagles team at this point is insane. Believe A.J. Rumors getting moved or not. We're trying our best not to talk A.J. Brown because it doesn't matter. It's not happening anytime soon. If it does, we'll talk about that. I'm nauseated. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of talking about A.J. Brown and trade rumors. It's just the most insane thing in the world. I don't have faith in Campbell's traits as being anywhere near correctable. And I think that's an opinion, okay? I don't think the Eagles let Nakobe Dean walk if they don't have the faith. And they're the ones that see him practice every day. They're the ones that see every minute of the work he puts in, Nooms. My only concern with Campbell is 2 surgeries on his shoulders and 2 off seasons in a row. That's my only concern. Because I trust that the Eagles' developmental system and coaches wouldn't let somebody like Nakobe Dean walk if there was doubt. As the AI how to get better at using AI, yeah. I got them as a 10-win team. Sure, okay. I don't, but there's no way to know. Till you know who your starting safeties are going to be. We don't have a wide receiver 3 on our roster right now. We don't have a third edge yet. Till you know the team, can't judge it. You can't knowingly predict that stuff, right? You just can't. Then you use Campbell the best you can and get his replacement. That is all you can do. Right, exactly. You got to give him the chance. What's up, Chuck? How you doing? Happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well. You can't develop heart. Yeah. And I think you're way off base saying he has no heart. Campbell was fantastic when he played last year. His coverage skills are good. Anthony, I'm with you. I think they're crazy on giving up on this kid already. The Giants upgraded. The Commanders are no slouch. Dallas is Dallas. I'm sorry, Phil, but I don't see this team as it stands right now winning 11 games. Dallas is Dallas. Long live Jerry Jones. The Commanders haven't really done anything, right? And the Giants, you don't know what Cam Scadaboo is going to look like. You don't know what Malik Neighbors is going to look like. Jackson Dart. Everyone loves to talk about quarterbacks' second-year regressions, right? When people get taped, no one wants to talk about that with Jackson Dart. John Harbaugh, with an elite roster in Baltimore, hasn't won jack shit in how long? The coach and the GM are already not talking in New York and don't have to report to each other. The owner has to be a middle ground. The owner is trying to sell his team to his kids. I am not scared one goddamn iota about the New York Giants. The Giants will be better next year. They may win 7 or 8 games, but they're not competing in the division, and it's not even close. I know. We should be spending more time talking about big play Darius Slay. Eagles, Wall of Fame or Hall of Fame or Ring of Honor, whatever they call it, guaranteed. We're going to give another round of applause to big play Slay. He deserves the respect and honor, for the time he spent here in Philly. Cornerback was a barren wasteland before Darius Slay got here. And to get him for a 3rd and a 5th round pick, Howie Roseman fleeced Detroit. What's a better drinking holiday, St. Patrick's Day or 3/16? I forgot yesterday was 3/16. After the show, I realized it. I put out some posts. I love 3/16, right? As a restaurant worker my whole life, Freddie, I was never much of a St. Patrick's Day partier because I was always working. So I always hated St. Patrick's Day because I was always dealing with drunks all day long at the bars. No improvements have been made, just compromise. You don't know that yet. The roster is not set. You can say, hey, we still have holes to fill, which I think we do. But I'm not going to say those positions are bad right now because I don't know who's going to be brought in still. You do need to see what you have with Campbell as D-end as well because, look, I can see, we will see. Again, the Eagles do not let Nakobe Dean go if they don't have at least a majority, 90%, 95% confidence in Campbell. Guess the win-loss today is just an educated wish. Yeah, and if you're wishing that they're going to be a bad team because you want to prove your narrative that they suck or something like that. I just got an alert. Justin Fields going, that happened yesterday. Good for him, right? He's got a chance to get a Super Bowl ring as a backup, right? Good for him. What team signed Reed? Reed Blankenship went to Houston Texans, one of the best defenses in football. Slay is like Johnson, great players, but their legs can give out at any moment. Yeah, and look, the thing with Darius Slay, I don't know if you guys watched the Darius Slay tribute video, thank you video. He didn't put anything from his time in Pittsburgh in the video. That like 3/4 of the season last year. Darius Slay had said before announcing his retirement he would play one more year if Philly called. Problem is, Buffalo owns his rights and are bitter and aren't going to release his rights. So he had no choice but to retire, right? And the Eagles don't need another cornerback like him that doesn't play special teams at this point. But, so I love that. I'm glad he had a great career. He can come back. He could be one of those guys that, like Brandon Graham before he came out of retirement, that's always around the Eagles. He could probably come to camp, help coach up a little bit. Maybe he has a career in coaching or in some role in the organization down the line. Love Darius Slay. Is Darius Slay an NFL Hall of Famer? I don't think so. I do have his stats up. He's a 1-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler. He's got 28 interceptions in his career. He led the league once in interceptions and once in passes defended. I think he's just outside the Hall of Fame for a career. But Eagles Hall of Fame for sure. There's a major mental aspect to his hesitation, and it's rooted in that shoulder. He may look, the shoulder is the only concern I have. The process came faster at some point, but he is a 3rd down coverage linebacker. He was at that point, but I think you don't let Nakobe Dean walk. If what you and Keith think of him, if you guys were really 100% sure, you would think they're just letting Nakobe Dean walk? No, they're not. Can always get better, but as of right now, I do not trust the Eagles' offense. I mean, an offense that's got, if healthy, 5 phenomenal offensive linemen. You got arguably one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football. You got 2 of the best wide receivers in football. You brought back a tight end that had 11 touchdowns last year. You have a Hall of Fame-ish running back in Saquon Barkley. I mean, what's there not to trust, you know? I mean, I guess we don't have enough talent on offense right now. Wouldn't put my money on the Giants over the Eagles at this moment today. I would. You're donkeying off your money. You're the dead fish at the poker table, okay? If you can't spot the fish, you are the fish. And you'd be the fish at the table right now. Okay? Yeah. So 1-1 we'll speak about 3:14. Everyone missed Pie Day. Yeah, look. Pie Day was also a big day in the pizza industry. You always did a Pie Day special. Yeah. Just like with Keely Ringo, if he didn't also have this issue in college, I would be way more optimistic. I don't see a real bloom until year 3 or 4 at a minimum. Again, if you're right, the Eagles got a big problem there. I just don't think so. It's too early to predict the Eagles' wins. It's way too early, Robert. Way too early. You cannot predict wins, losses before the draft. You can't predict win-losses for the Eagles in April, May, March. You can't. It's silly. It's nonsense. I know what you meant. I was just giving you a hard time, Mitchie Poo. Look, yeah. I mean, I got concerns. I got concerns that Sean Mannion has only been a coach, not an offensive coordinator, not a play caller, just in a coaching role, period, for 2 years, right? But I am confident that they built a better team around him than they did Kevin Petullo, okay? Nobody in year 2 or 3 was talking about Kevin Petullo being an OC, right? It took him 16, 18 years and to have a best friend give him the job. So I'm concerned. I'm also excited. I'm concerned, but I'm curious. I'm concerned, but no, we have other options if it doesn't work out. Does all those make sense? Eagles always make the playoffs with Nick and Jalen. And it ain't going to stop this year, Anthony. And anybody that thinks that this year is going to be the end of the 5-year run of Sirianni and Hurts, they're crazy. There's so much talent on this Eagles roster. A fish reference, nice. Yeah, it's a great line from Rounders. If you sit down and you can't spot the fish, you are the fish, right? All right, 57 minutes and 55 seconds, caught up on comments. All right, let's do a quick reset. Guys, we are trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We got 21 likes on the video so far, but that still means some of you have not voted or liked yet. So like, share, subscribe. It's free to do, costs you nothing. Live or on replay, hit those buttons. Our poll question of the day, World Baseball Classic Finals. Who wins? Team USA, 68% of the vote. Team Venezuela, 4% of the vote. I do not care, 28% of the vote. Wow. A lot more people vote, and I don't care. I'm surprised not more trolls voted Team Venezuela. That's where we're at right now. We are talking the Eagles. I'm going to give you my power rankings again on where I think this team's biggest needs are. We are talking World Baseball Classic, the Phillies, Bryce Harper. We are talking the NBA trying to expand before they fix their problems. And I think it's stupid to expand now. It's too soon. But that's what we got on topics today. We're going to continue rolling through here. Someone needs to explain the too many cooks in the kitchen thing. Eagles did not add new actual positions on the staff. They filled existing openings. Exactly. So people think that because there's Goedert, who was an OC and still wants to be, who Jared Johnson, who wants to be an OC and wants to be a head coach, that there's just too many people with big egos. No. What you got is a bunch of guys with a lot of experience and a lot of philosophies. It's going to be a cumulative effort. Sean Mannion's going to have the final say. It's going to be what Sean Mannion wants. Well, what Sean Mannion's told to want by Nick Sirianni. But, yeah, I have no problem with it. I don't think there's too many cooks in the kitchen, right? It's like pitching. You can never have enough cooks in the kitchen, right? Because when that big rush comes, you got plenty of extra hands to toss the pots, right? To work the grill. To flip the burgers. Maybe Petullo kept asking to be offensive coordinator Then he finally said, oh, fine. Let's give him a chance. I mean, there's a reason right there. I think the Eagles are going to improve. They moved on from Kevin Patullo. Wasn't moving on from Kevin Patullo what everybody wanted as their number one goal this offseason? We weren't 100% sure. We most likely assumed it. But come on. Come on. Like, you got to understand. That was the biggest win of the offseason. You moved on. Yeah, you went to someone even, experienced as well. But come on. It's not that big a deal. Oh, boy. Anyway. Power rankings. Again, on the order of my opinion, the biggest needs for the Eagles at this point, okay? Number one need for the Philadelphia Eagles is edge, okay? Edge. Whether it's in a trade or in the draft, the Eagles need more edge. Maybe two more edge. Honestly, Brandon Graham would be one, and then somebody else. Number two, it's safety, obviously. We've talked about it. We agree. We have a barren wasteland at safety. We need it. And I know everybody wants offensive line, but number three issue is wide receiver 3. You don't want Quez Watkins there, again. You can't trust Darius Cooper there. You don't know what's going on with Johnny Wilson's health, and he's not a wide receiver 3 anyway. You need a wide receiver 3 so badly. And I know offensive line depth is number 4. But see, the thing is, you've got your starters. You need guys that can fill in when they get hurt. You need the future starters, but you don't need a starter week 1 on the offensive line. You need a safety edge and wide receiver 3 to start or play significant minutes week 1. That's why I bump offensive line down. Safety again and tight end. If there's no room to move in the kitchen, I'm sure that's not a great thing. But when you've got enough cooks in the kitchen, and as long as you have a leader telling them where to stand, as long as they don't get out of their lanes, it's perfect. I've been in kitchens that have loads of cooks and kitchens with very few. As long as you've got a good leader in the kitchen, it don't matter. Number one need is offensive line depth. The thing is, I get that, and I agree. We need offensive line depth, right? We can't go. We don't have Toth and Pryor to disappoint us, but we don't have anybody, right? We don't have Stout to coach these guys up. We don't know what Chris Cooper's going to be like, right? But in theory, the Eagles are hoping these guys are healthy. So you need backups, right? You're not drafting a backup with pick 23. When you need edge, safety, and wide receiver 3, that can step in and play day 1. You got to go. You need pick 23 to play right now. And your backup or future tackle isn't that. I don't care how many cooks are in the kitchen thingy. The bottom line is the Eagles are not as good as last season, but the Giants and Cowboys are. I disagree. Especially on the Giants' part. We need an overhead projector to explain this. No, you need an overhead projector to understand that the Giants are jack shit at this point. Okay? Just signing a bunch of random names and throwing them in the locker room, it don't mean jack shit. What have the Giants done to improve? Cowboys have done absolutely nothing and still, look, I think they franchise tagged Pickens, didn't they? I think they franchise tagged Pickens. The Giants are not a fear. Not yet. Not at this point. Not even close, Anthony. And anybody putting the Giants ahead of the Eagles at this point of the offseason are just, it's just crazy to me. Again, a lot of injuries, right, that people got to come back from. We talk about all these quarterbacks in the NFL. Oh, they'll regress in year 2. No one thinks Jackson Dart is going to regress in year 2? Seriously? Damn straight he's going to regress in year 2. It's crazy. John Harbaugh, yeah, great coach in theory. Hasn't done shit in the NFL in how many years? We got the likes up today. Now we got to get the views up. How much you need? Yes, how much you need? What? I'm back. Any stop. Giants are a garbage franchise. Yeah, look. I don't fear the Cowboys. I don't fear the Giants. If anything, I fear the Commanders solely on the fact that Jaden Daniels is going to come back and hopefully be healthy, and that second-year regression that we all hoped for turns into a year 3 rebirth, right? sell as a rookie, drop off your second year, come back, right? I guess that's something there. The NFC East is not a deep division. It's the Eagles and everybody else. Like, really. There's no coaches that I trust more than Nick Sirianni in the division. There's no quarterback. God, for sure, there's no quarterback in the division I trust more than Jalen Hurts. The Giants got a solid defense, right? The Commanders have a promising young quarterback. The Giants, the Cowboys, I don't even know what the Cowboys have. Jane Daniels, frail as hell. He's the new RG3. This is the year for him to prove whether he is the new RG3 or not. Now, I had high expectations for him not to regress last year, and I don't think he regressed. I think it was the injury that really set him back, as expected, right? I mean, it was a pretty bad injury. I don't even know what the expectations in Washington are for Jaden Daniels in this new year, right? I don't know. I don't even know how his recovery process is going right now. A garbage franchise beat a complete Eagles team. Yeah, look. And you know what? There's a reason. Sometimes good teams lose to bad teams. It's part of the NFL. Any given Sunday is a thing. Yes, we lost to the Giants last year. We made the playoffs. The Giants did not. So that win did not mean the Giants are a better team. It means they are better that day. Okay? It happens. Division rivals happen. All right? That game means jack shit on the fact that whether who's going to be a better team in 2026. Like, really, it really does. It really means nothing. Nothing. I mean, we've been back and forth on this for like a week now, 2 weeks now, maybe the whole offseason now with Vastok. I know the numbers. You know the numbers. But because of one game where you were playing, yeah, we played our team, but Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson shouldn't have been playing. Lane Johnson probably shouldn't have been playing. I'm not saying I'm worried about any of the teams in the division. All the teams in the division outside the Eagles are terrible. All the teams in the division have more holes in them than the Eagles do. All the other teams in the NFC East have more question marks than the Eagles do. I think he's a football fan. I don't think he's a diehard Eagles fan. I think that's what it is. I think he just likes football. I get it. He's welcome to his opinion. He just doesn't understand that we strongly disagree with it. They had a shit. They've had a shit 10 years, 100%, and they're not going to get any better or much better. Oh, stop! I know you're trolling now. Let's not even talk about it. You speak what you feel, and I'm fine with that. And I'm trying to convince you that you're wrong. Wrong. I don't even know what the Commanders. I don't even know what's happened to the Commanders, right? In free agency, I don't know who they've lost. I don't know who they've gained. I know nothing about. I know what the Cowboys and Giants are doing. The Giants have signed a bunch of good quality players potentially. Doesn't mean they're going to be a better team than the Eagles. Commanders, I don't even know what they've done. Yeah, they've been bad for a while. What happened to Pump Man? He's missing the action. I know. No, I don't say his name and then he'll appear. I don't need to deal with Jalen Hurts hate today. I'm already trying to curtail the A.J. Brown talk. I don't need to have to worry about the Jalen Hurts hate today, right? I don't, by the way. I mean, Jalen Hurts is out on the book tour, right? And posting to social media. And A.J. Brown's liking it. Because guess what? Shh. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts don't hate each other. I know it's a shocker to some. They don't hate each other. Don't be surprised when they don't hate each other. It is what it is, guys. It is. Checking out some things here on the side. Look, what else is going on? What else is going on? Never wrong. You're never wrong? Well, that's a classic fan right there. My opinion is always right, and yours is always wrong. I'm open to seeing other sides of the equation. I just can't see it with the Giants. I can't. You haven't given me any reason to be convinced. And the reason why? Because I don't grade teams the first week of free agency. I don't pick who's winning and losing the first week of free agency. Nobody should. Because the first week of free agency means nothing. Who's winning? The World Baseball Classic tonight. Team USA or Team Venezuela? Final 20 minutes of the show. Drop your predictions tonight for the game. Team Venezuela's got Eduardo Rodriguez pitching. The Eagles, the Team USA have Metter, Nolan McLean. Is this the game Bryce Harper finally breaks out? I don't want to hear this nonsense that Bryce Harper's never had protection. He's got protection right now in the lineup, and he's still doing jack shit. Are we concerned about Bryce Harper from the World Baseball Classic? They'll be riding in the golf cart at practice together laughing. Exactly. Commanders' big move was signing Los Angeles Chargers defensive end. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. I do remember that now. Didn't Brandon Graham let it slip on his radio show that Jalen and AJ do not like each other? He didn't say they don't like each other. He said that there's some issues there, right? But did you not hear the interview between Jason Kelsey, where him and Lane Johnson had beefs at times? Because when you're playing, sometimes you disagree on how things need to be done. Doesn't mean you hate each other, okay? Doesn't mean you don't like each other. Jalen Hurts is A.J. Brown's kid's godfather. They might have disagreed on things this year. Yes. Maybe A.J. Brown wanted Jalen Hurts to stand up to Kim Tula's nonsense a little bit more. Yes. Doesn't mean they hate each other or don't like each other. We are not. One person is switching accounts over and over again. Just put more A.J. Brown talk. Giants and Cowboys are not going anywhere. No, they are not. Shit changes. What? Team USA tonight, Team Venezuela. I'm going to do my best. I am going to do my damnedest to try to be motivated to watch the World Baseball Classic, at least some of it tonight after Fairway to Heaven, which will be live 6 p.m. tonight on this very channel, breaking down this week's Valspar Championship and, of course, recapping Cam Young's huge Players Championship win. We'll be recapping and breaking that down tonight, 6 p.m. Lock and load, guys, for some Valspar tonight. But I will try my best to watch some World Baseball Classic. I'm more concerned about Bryce Harper. I'm more concerned about the Phillies than I am the Eagles. I just am. Yeah, and shit gets back. You know, they're grown-ass men. At the restaurant bar you work at, Rick, does everybody love everybody all the time? No. There are beasts in the business, okay? I'm not worried about their relationship. I'm not. Not at all. In fact, I'm excited for the rebirth of it, okay? That's what I am. That's just me. We're 9 days away till the Phillies season kicks off. Biggest excitement thing for the Phillies, biggest concern for the Phillies. Biggest concern to me is their lineup and their bullpen. Biggest excitement level is that starting pitching could be an all-time great. USA wins 5-2. It's a good prediction. I don't know about a Mets. Venezuela is a tough damn team. Both Team Venezuela and USA have each lost one game, to my knowledge, in the WBC. I think Team USA pulls it out tonight. I do. I hope to see Bryce Harper do something big, but I don't know. Won't have to worry about their relation. Oh, stop. Please. Please, Rick. I beg you. Please. I can't take it anymore. I'm exhausted. I disagree. I think keeping Luzardo over Ranger, or signing Luzardo over Ranger was the right move. Our starting pitching is going to be the strength of this team. Bryce is horrible, even when not playing a Phillies game. Look, Bryce Harper brings out some concerns, for sure. There are definitely concerns in Bryce Harper entering the season. I expect to see him play well. And if he doesn't, he's going to have to answer. He is. This is year 7 or 8 in his Phillies career. It's time to nut up or shut up, Bryce. You want to be the face of this franchise? Well, time to strap on that Superman cape and prove you are. Hopefully the current quarterback handles team dynamics better than the last one. Otherwise, it could be an issue. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair thing. And I have faith. I mean, I'm hoping he can, too. Could have kept them both. You would have had if you didn't give Luzardo the extension now, it would have been even more next offseason. and you know that Dave Dombrowski's being held back a little bit on spending by Middleton because he's failed at spending. So the problem is, it's not that John Middleton doesn't want to spend any money. The money he's spent hasn't been used right and hasn't brought the results. So it's like, yo, Dave, you fucked up enough. You ain't spending much more, right? Mannion plus a stationary Hurts equals shit. You watch. Who's saying he's going to be stationary this year? Who says? We don't know what Sean Mannion's offense is going to look like. I don't want to talk about A.J. Brown. I'm with you. I don't. After Bichette flaked out, could have used that money on Ranger. I don't think the Phillies were ever in on Bo Bichette. I still to this day feel like the Bo Bichette situation was strictly a ploy by Bo Bichette to get more money elsewhere. And that money did get used towards Jesus Luzardo, by the way, as well. So, just saying. Looks like Wheeler will be back sooner than later. I was originally thinking June 1st. Then I started thinking maybe May 15th, then May 1st. Now I hear people talking about maybe late April for Zach Wheeler's season debut. It's great. I'm excited. You got Wheeler. You got Nola, who's pitching fantastic. Another great outing from Nola last night in the WBC for Team Italy. You've got Sanchez. You've got Luzardo. You got Painter. You got Taijuan Walker, who, yeah, might hate to hear it, is still pretty damn solid and played great last year. Split on who wins. Venezuela 5-3, USA 3-2. I like the way you broke it down. I think if Venezuela wins, it's more like 10-3, 10-2. And if USA wins, it's a close, hard-fought battle. Yeah, Luzardo's, at this point in their careers, got the brighter future than Ranger. Adam, 100%. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Yeah, I don't think there's, in my mind, there is no doubt on that it was the right decision, right? That is my opinion. But again, we're allowed to disagree on opinions. I get it. That's what we do here. We disagree a lot on this show. Sometimes we disagree. Sometimes the accounts are just trolling for shits and giggles. But that's another whole situation. Look, I hope so. I still don't think the excitement level's been there for me. I got Fairway having a 6. It'll be over at 7. The game's at 8. March Madness is Thursday. This sucks. I used to be so excited about this time of the year, and I'm just not. You think we spanked Venezuela? Huh. Let me look at this here. So Venezuela's won 4-2, 8-5. They beat Japan. Lost 7-5, won 4-0, 11-3. Only once did the Team USA score more than 6 runs. That was the 9-1 Great Britain game. The offense has not been there for Team USA. When does Embiid and Maxey come back, and do they make the playoffs? The Sixers will make the playoffs. Sixers start tonight, their final 14 games. We're 4 games away before Paul George comes back. Embiid and Maxey will be back soon after that. They're going to finish in the 9 or 10 seed, no doubt about it. And then we see. Most likely they're one and done. They don't make it out of the play-in round. Dominican Republic got robbed on the called third strike. Look, 2 strikes, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. You don't take that pitch. You protect the plate. It was a bad call. It was a good 6 inches low. But you don't take that pitch in that situation. We captured their... Oh, stop. We need to not become victims of our own success and navigate in 2026. Sure. We do need to navigate in 2026. We need to... The thing is, 2026, if you're talking Eagles, is so far off. So patience. The Phillies need to navigate some success in 2026 as well. Dave has been a disaster. Look, Dave's had 1 or 2 good moves here or there, but Dave Dombrowski and Daryl Morey have had so many misses that it takes away from their 1 or 2 hits, right? Yeah, they hit a game-winning home run, but they struck out 20 other at-bats before that. So you can't take you can't take away from all that bad, right? This could be Dombrowski's last year. It should be. It should be Daryl Morey's last year. I don't know if it will be. We will see. But man, We bitch and moan about the goddamn Eagles so damn much. But yet we don't complain enough about the Phillies and the situation with the Sixers. They're the teams that deserve the criticism. They're the teams that deserve our evil eye. But all the criticism goes to Howie Roseman. Should definitely be more. It should be. 26 will be the biggest leadership test to date. They have passed 3 and failed 3. Who, the Eagles? I mean, this current run's only at 5 years, so I don't know if you could say it would be past 3 and failed 2. I don't know. But yeah, it's a big year. Look, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts aren't on hot seats this year, but they could do a lot to silence the critics this year, right? They absolutely can. Now, they fail and just make the playoffs or one and done again, then next year they'd be on the hot seat. But that's it. But it was Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz in 2020. Totally different organization and team at that point, okay? Nick Sirianni was 2021, and Jalen Hurts started 4 games at the end of a season for a bad team, okay? 2020 is not on the current Eagles regime. Phillies and Sixers need to replace Darryl, Dave, Nick, and Topper with young minds. No more retread. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. 100%, Marshawn. You are not wrong. Not even in the least bit there. I think our current administration has told the president of oh, stop. We're not even going there. Saving the franchise overall. Yeah, but you can't say that this team needs to, you said, be the biggest leadership test to date. We are 3-3. Okay? But see, the thing is, the first year was a different franchise. It was a different regime. You can go by this regime, but you got to go 5 years. You can't put 2024. And management was different. Yeah, Howie Roseman was part of that. You're going to do Howie Roseman, you could date back to 2016. Okay? You could do 10 years or 9 years, whatever that is. But that's it. Can't really say much on the Phillies yet, but we know the Sixers and Flyers suck, no doubt. Flyers are close. The Sixers, yeah. The Sixers we could definitely agree on. The Phillies, it's a major prove-it year for a lot of people in the Phillies organization. I don't even think Dave will be fired. I think he'll retire at the end of the year. I don't think Daryl Morey will retire. Oh, Dave, sorry. Yeah, I think Dave might retire. To save face, right? One retread I would like to see is Bob Myers. Like I said, he's actually been to a few Sixers games lately. I don't think Bob Myers takes over the day-to-day decision-making like Daryl Morey did from Elton Brand. What I think happens is Bob Myers will be put in charge of firing Daryl Morey and Elton Brand and Nick Nurse, and he'll be put in charge to hire the guy that'll make the decisions. We'll actually have a GM that makes the decisions, not the president. Like, because Daryl Morey's not the GM, right? So I think Bob Myers will be more of a experienced version of Pat Croce, because Pat Croce was the president, right? But he did more of the marketing. Bob Myers will be the president and just will be an assistant to whoever he hires, right? Bob Myers won't be making the day-to-day decisions. Let everyone know the offense will start off slow. Don't be surprised if they don't get rolling until week 5 or 6. The Eagles, yeah. The Phillies, maybe. Phillies will not win more than 90 games. I got the Phillies right around 88, 92 wins. Depends on a few things. I think right at 90 is safe. I think 88 to 90 is a safe prediction. Rangers, Suarez, 48. I know the numbers. There's also the Phillies making the playoffs every year, quality, talented team. And Luzardo was on the Marlins, a shit team, right? I get it. Look, I'm not knocking Ranger Suarez. I know Ranger Suarez has been a damn fine pitcher for the Phillies, especially over the last few years. Huge in the postseason for the Phillies. I get it. I agree. Yes. But when we're talking 5 years, $200-some million, or whatever the deal he signed was, Luzardo, 5 years, 135. If you could only give out one deal, I'm taking the Luzardo deal. They sent Sam Fold to business school, and they seem to love Mattingly. So, yeah. Preston Mattingly seems to be the guy to take over next. Giants are so cooked unless Harbaugh isn't effing off like Doug Moe did to the Sixers. Like, John Harbaugh has to prove so much, in my opinion. Not as an overall career. But people are giving him way too much credit too quickly with this Giants team. Luzardo ain't Ranger? I don't know. I disagree. We're coming up in the final few minutes here. Ranger better than Luzardo. Why would you take Luzardo over Ranger? Senseless take. I said over the next 5 years, at the price they're making, yes, I would. Over their breakdown of their bodies, Ranger ain't going to be good in 3-4 years. He might not even be pitching in 3 or 4 years. Okay? I'm confident in Luzardo. Okay? I am. I wish Ranger Suarez is like that, lost in the Kobe Dean reblanket. You can't let go because you love the guy. Yeah, I agree. Well, you're senseless like me, elephant in the room as well. Because anybody that disagrees is senseless, right? I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong to put that there. My opinion. Me and Rick, we butt heads a lot here. Me and Rick, me and Vasak. They're my two biggest, and Keith lately, my biggest battlers right now. Rangers had more starts and innings than Luzardo over the past 5 years. Yeah, he has. He's also breaking down. Okay? He's also going, his velocity's dipping. He gets hurt a little bit here and there. Okay. Whatever. If losing Ranger Suarez is the difference in us making it to the World Series or not, then something bad drastically happened. All right? I'll just put it at that. Don't be butthurt. No, I'm not. I could care less. I have bad takes all the time. That's what I do. I'm not scrambling. I'm just trying to stall. My coffee's empty. I'm trying to just give you guys the full 90 minutes here. That's all I'm doing. I disagree with you. That's what I do. You just disagree with that. My coffee's empty, man. Once the coffee cup is empty, my interest in the show goes as soon as the coffee cup ends. I do want to say one other thing. We've talked a lot about Sinners and how much I love that Oscar nominated. It won 4 Oscars movie. Last night we sat down and watched the movie that beat Sinners for best movie, one battle after another. And it was really, really intense movie, one battle after another. I liked Sinners a little bit better, to be honest with you, which is weird because I don't like that style of movie, horror and all. One battle after another. I mean, I get the praise he got. Still liked Sinners a little bit more. Of course, I'd be wrong. Any possible guests? I haven't really reached out to anybody for any guest spots lately. I haven't. You guys love. I don't want to take away from your time with me. Got to keep the time with me. Give you guys what you want most. At least that's my opinion. That's true, but that's not now. Facts are Ranger Village. Yeah, absolutely agree. Would rather laugh with the Sinners and cry with the Saints. Yeah, exactly. One battle after another was so good too, but Sinner was just so original. Yeah, I kind of some of the visuals in one battle after another, like the scene towards the end where they're going up and down the hills. I was getting nauseous watching it, getting car sick watching that. That's why I don't like roller coasters. It was just well done. It was. There were a couple of little plot points that I didn't fall in love with on it. Sinners was so original. It was great. It was a horror movie, but not a horror movie. The music was fantastic. You had young up and coming actors. It was just. I think Sinners was a great movie. We're going to try to sit down and watch as many of these Oscar movies right now. Rangers like a 3-starter, solid but unspectacular. Numbers don't lie. Luzardo pitched like a number two pitcher last year. Just so you know. Anyway, we've reached the end. What's up? We got Fairway to Heaven tonight at 7 or 6 p.m. right here on this channel. Don't miss it. We'll be back tomorrow, obviously, with more trending in the AM. We'll probably talk Team USA or Team Venezuela, the game tonight. We'll probably talk more Sixers. Sinners was better cinematography and original screenwriting, historical, etc. Yeah, it was just different, right? Like I said, I don't like horror movies. I get bored with horror movies. I was on the edge of my seat with Sinners. Last night, I was on the edge of my seat with last night's movie. But, one battle after another, I mean, I don't know. To me, I would have voted for Sinners, honestly. I would have, if I had a vote. We're also excellent commentary movies. They didn't beat you over the head about it. Yeah. No, I don't think he's still down there. Luzardo 3-5. What? I think Luzardo. Oh, you're talking 2024. Okay. So what? Who cares what he did with the Miami Marlins? He still got something to prove. I've already said it when he got signed. He had one season of eliteness and a bunch of inconsistent seasons. But that one season of eliteness gives me hope. Whatever. Anyway, I got to wrap this up. Thank you very much, Adam. We'll be back tomorrow, guys, with more stuff. And tonight at 6 p.m. with Fairway to Heaven. Everybody have a great Tuesday. It's going to be cold out, guys. Everyone have a good day. Go Birds. Bubbles up.